What's going on, people? It's your man Dale Mixon, and today I have for you the Fifine XLR and USB podcast microphone. This is the K668 microphone, and it comes with a USB-C to USB-A cable and also a threaded adapter if you have one of those weird stands that needs it from 3/8 to 5/8. And yeah, I mean, this thing's pretty lightweight, comes with the shock mount, and just like, the microphone that it looks like, I will not mention the name, but we take off the windscreen here, and inside, it kind of looks like a SM58. I'm not going to hold you, but we're going to plug this thing in, see what it sounds like. We'll test out both the XLR and the USB-C. You've got a headphone output on here, so that's actually pretty cool that you've got headphone out, because that's really nice to have. And then you've got volume control for the headphones, and then, of course, the actual microphone volume. And I'm going to assume that's only going to work for when you're plugging it in through USB, because if you're plugging it into a mic preamp, there's no reason for you to turn the volume up on the microphone itself. Right here on top of the microphone, looks like we have a button here to mute the microphone. Looks like it might be touch sensitive. If we look at the manual really quickly, see if it tells me anything about that button. Okay, cool. If it's red, the microphone is muted. If it's green, the microphone is on. And yes, it is a touch screen. So yeah, let's plug this thing in, check it out, see what we got. Seeing as this is a budget microphone, I'm going to run it through my IK Multimedia iRig Keys IO instead of any of my high-end preamps and converters. This is going to keep the review much more honest and what the average person that might be looking at this microphone would be plugging it into. Y'all remember that adapter I talked about? Well, guess what? I actually need it for my stand, because for whatever reason, this isn't a normal mic stand, so I need to actually use this adapter. Go figure, right? So we are going to screw that onto here, yeah, like so. And then the microphone is going to go into that. You could do it the other way around, doesn't really matter, as long as you get the adapter on there. All right, it's threading, or is it not threading? Yep, there it goes. All right, it's threading. Look at that. They gave us a cable tie. That is such an overlooked thing from so many companies. I love the fact that they've included one with this cable in the box, and it's got their nice little logo on there. Fine cable tie. Nice little Velcro tie. Other thing I like, this is a nice lengthy cable, so you don't have to deal with trying to figure out how you're going to extend it, because if you got a system like me where the computer is underneath the desk or the hub is way over there, then trying to figure out where you're going to plug this thing in can be a problem. The other thing I love, this is a USB-C to USB-A cable. Come on, man. I am so happy that they didn't give USB-C to USB-C, because everybody has hubs and dongles and things for the whole purpose of going from USB-C on the computer to USB-A thumb drives and all that kind of stuff. Audio interfaces, MIDI controllers. So love the fact that they gave us that type of cable instead of USB-C to USB-C. The other thing, when you buy this microphone, you can purchase it as just a microphone with the shock mount, or you have the option to buy it as a package that comes with a mic stand that clamps to your desk. So if you don't already have a stand for your desk, this is probably a great package to kind of look at, to have everything included in the box for you. But before we get to purchase options, let's actually listen to it and see if it's even worth our money, right? Okay, so I've got the microphone plugged in right now, actually both through USB-C and through XLR. That's actually pretty cool that you can use both connections simultaneously. That opens up some cool options for you while you're, recording your podcast or doing videos like I'm doing. You can have a safety recording by plugging in USB-C to a computer, recording that way, and then also running into XLR on your audio interface or camera or whatever other device you're using to record that way. So that's pretty cool that you can use both outputs simultaneously. The other thing I noticed was that when going in to set up the USB connection, I noticed that it showed up as a stereo connection, and then you had the option of seeing both mono sources. So that's a little interesting that it showed up as a stereo microphone, even though it's a single capsule on the inside of that. I'll test that out and see what happens there, but that was just something I wanted to note to you as well. All right, I am recording this microphone. All right, okay, now I know for a fact it is not doing stereo. So I'm going to stop this recording, and then I'm going to plug in some headphones, and I'm going to listen back to it, and we're going to see what the headphone output sounds like, as well as on my monitors, just to get a nice feel for the sound there. So I'll be back with some results in just a second. Okay, I've listened to the microphone coming through my monitors and on the headphones, and on both of those sources, the USB was much fuller and richer sounding than the XLR output. Now, the caveat I will put in there is the fact that I am running this XLR output of the microphone into this iRig Keys mic pre. So I'm pretty sure that that's part of the reason why it sounds like that, because we know XLR going into a mic preamp, you're at liberty of adding whatever signal is coming from the mic pre. So if I plugged it into one of my external pre's over here, I'm pretty sure I would be able to get a much richer sound. But as it stands right now, the USB is winning for me. Now with both of those connections, the low end is very, very, very pronounced. I'm very surprised that there is no high pass filter on this particular microphone, because it really, really needs it. Because if you're going to be up in the microphone like this, you know, doing a podcast or something like that, then you want to get rid of more of those plosives and more of that extra low end, you know, because of the proximity effect. So I definitely had to insert a high pass filter, and I would actually filter it out a little bit more if I was actually going to be mixing this particular microphone. But sound quality wise, the headphone output is low in volume. If you have some higher quality headphones, then that headphone amp is not going to drive them to the volume that you probably want to hear that. The other thing I'll do is I will listen to some music through it and give another consensus on the overall volume, output, and just the sound quality of it. So give me 1 second, let me check that out, and then I'll be right back. The output of the headphones is clear. It has lows, it has mids, it has highs. The mids are a little bit lacking for my taste, and the highs aren't as crispy. But again, we're talking about a very, very affordable microphone that has both output for a microphone and it gives you headphone output. So there's always going to be some give and take on those types of things when comparing it to higher quality digital to audio converters that are designed just for outputting to headphones. So with that consideration, I definitely would say that this will pass the mustard for most people that will be using this. If you're doing a podcast, you're doing videos like YouTube, it will be perfectly fine for you to hear what you're doing. Again, but pay attention to the headphones that you're using, because I do think the better quality headphones are struggling to get volume output from this, because I have it maxed out and I still ended up, when I was listening to music, having to turn the music up inside of the computer. So that's just that note there. But on my overall thoughts, man, this microphone is not a bad microphone. I mean, for the money, it's very hard to give it a bad review, because it's not a $300 microphone like the one it probably looks like to you. So that has to be taken into consideration, and it does perform well. The mic's not distorted. I'm not hearing any craziness in my voice. My voice sounds like my voice. Again, it's not as full and rich on the XLR output, but that was probably due to the fact that I was using this pre on this MIDI controller and not one of my other preamps. So it'll be worth testing this out again on another preamp just to see if I get a different result there. But the USB, that USB is definitely workable. You're going to use a high pass filter anyways. And just a note about that, whatever you're using for podcasting, if you have a Blackmagic like I have, then you have the ability to go into the ATEM software, use a high pass filter there. If you're using a Rodecaster or one of those types of devices, then you have all the audio processing in there. Of course, if you're recording into a DAW or you're doing post, editing to where you can tweak that kind of stuff, then you have all those options that are available to you there. So tightening up and sweetening up the sound is definitely something that can be done whether you're using USB or the XLR. Don't have to worry about that. So I think, man, for the money, it's hard to beat, man. It's definitely a good buy to get you started. Most of the time when you're looking at starting a podcast or you're doing videos and you just want to have a microphone to be able to use. I don't normally like microphones in my face like this, but one thing I'm thinking about right now is when I do a lot of my live streams or review videos of plugins, I'm always having to reach over and mute my microphone or reach down here and mute my lab that I'm wearing on my chest. And so it's kind of cool to have, this touch button right here to where I could quickly mute and unmute the microphone. So I'm definitely seeing a benefit to having that right there where it could be very, very, very useful. So yeah, y'all go check this out, man. The Fifine K668 microphone. It is available for you to purchase directly from their website, or you can go over on Amazon and check it out. And don't forget that you can buy it as a bundle with a stand. So if you don't already have a stand on your desk, then go ahead and grab that bundle. And it comes in several different colors. I have the black here, but I believe it comes in pink and blue. So check those things out, man. And of course, if you really want to get one and support me and everything I'm doing on this channel, click the link in my description, because that is an Amazon affiliate link that will give me just a little bit of your purchase. Just a little bit. Like, it ain't gonna cost you nothing extra. You just gonna pay for it the same way you normally pay for it. Go check it out. Matter of fact, last thing, I'm gonna let you hear the audio files from this microphone on your system. I'm gonna give them to you to download for yourself to see what it sounds like, and that way you can judge for your own self without the YouTube algorithm putting in its filtering or whatever it's doing, and we'll go from there. So until the next one, peace out.